At the beginning of the drama, we see female lead JB and a boy comes to her with a bouquet of flowers. She thinks, finally, the day has come when a boy will propose to me. But that boy doesn't give the bouquet to her, but to another girl. JB starts thinking, I was the main character. And when the other girl and the boy are leaving, she's watching those people, clapping. But this was just a dream of hers. Then JB sees a novel on her tablet. The boy she saw in the dream, actually that boy is the main character of that novel. His name is Jae-soo-oh. Just then she thinks, even though I was a side character in the dream, in real life I will always remain the main character. She is a celebrity. Next, JB says to her manager, can I go to school today? Today is sports day. Her manager says, okay, you can go, but for an hour or two, then come back. Then we are shown a school scene where a boy directly asks JB, did you have surgery? Poor JB can't say anything. Just then, another girl comes and says to that boy, hey, are you crazy? JB has been very cute and beautiful since childhood. She doesn't need to have surgery. This girl is JB's best friend, whose name is Jeo-yoon. After a while, JB is near the washroom. Just then, she overhears some girls talking. Our followers are not increasing. If JB takes a photo with us once and we upload it on social media, our followers will increase a lot. JB quietly hears all this. Then, without saying anything, she takes a selfie with those girls and immediately uploads it. Instantly, the girls' followers start increasing. Those girls become very happy and say thank you to JB and leave. But JB doesn't seem so happy. Then in the next scene, we see that JB is reading a novel. The main female lead of this novel is very good, but everyone harasses her. But in the end, she has a happy ending. JB starts thinking, the same will happen with me, because everyone is troubling me too. But in the end, I will also have a happy ending. Just then, JB gets a message from a boy on her phone. What are you doing? JB immediately replies, I'm reading a novel. Then a reply comes, looks like something good hasn't happened to you today. JB asks in surprise, how did you know? Then a reply comes, I know everything. When you are in a good mood, you read normal novels. JB becomes even more shocked. She asks, how do you know all this? But after this, she doesn't get any reply. Then JB gets a notification on her tablet. For the novel she was reading, after the last episode ended, a new episode has been created. JB becomes excited and immediately starts reading. But as soon as she reads the last lines, her mood becomes completely bad. Because in the story, the hero and heroine have separated. Then, in the next scene, JB's friend, Jeo-yoon, sees those girls post who had taken a selfie with JB. Then, Jeo-yoon angrily uploads a post. In the next scene, JB's casting rehearsal is going on. She checks her phone there and sees a post. The post says, JB doesn't study. She's just a celebrity, so she gets her marks increased. Seeing this, JB thinks, who is spreading all these rumors? Then it's time for JB to go on stage. As soon as she goes on stage, the host asks her, is it true that you take advantage of being a celebrity, don't study, and get your marks increased? JB can't even say anything and becomes completely troubled. Then another scene is shown. These rumors were spread by none other than JB's own friend, Jeo-yoon. JB breaks down inside. She thinks, I thought my friend was with me at then, but now I know that I have no one here. Just then, JB looks in front, and standing in front is the male lead of that novel. JB is completely shocked. Then JB excitedly starts going towards him because she liked him a lot in the novel. But as soon as she starts going towards him, her foot twists. She is about to fall, but that hero immediately catches her. But then the whole scene changes. JB is in a school playground. Everyone is wearing uniforms. And here too, that same hero has caught JB. But this time he leaves JB and coldly says, you're only worth this. JB falls. JB thinks, where have I come to? I liked reading novels, but did I come into the world of novels? And the biggest thing, here I am in the character of a villain. Then in the last scene, the cover page of a book is shown, in which the female lead's picture is changed to JB's picture. Then Jae-soo says to JB, don't bother Dami from now on. Then he takes Dami with him and leaves from there. Then we see a scene in the classroom where JB sees two girls and thinks, these two used to harass Dami a lot in the novel. And since I am in the villain character, these two are my best friends. Thinking this, JB makes a noise in the class, so the teacher scolds her and says, go and stand at the back. Then we see four boys known as the 4 grade kings. First is Jae-soo, who is very nice to Dami. Second is Jin Woo, who was JB's first crush. Third is Yoon Hyun, who was Dami's one-sided lover. And fourth is Shin Han, whom JB hated the most in the novel. Then in the next scene, JB says to Shin Han, "You are very useless and don't talk to me." So Shin Han says to her, "Move aside, I need to take out the clothes." Then after taking out the clothes, he says to her, "You are very cute," and leaves from there. And just then, Dami comes there and is looking for her uniform, but she can't find it. Just then, Jae-soo also comes there and gives his uniform to Dami. Then JB says to Dami, "Look in the cupboard, your uniform will be there." So Jae-soo looks in the cupboard and there is the uniform there. Then Jae-soo scolds JB, "Don't bother Dami from now on. Don't hide her uniform," and leaves from there. And JB thinks, "I have already read the novel, so I knew where the uniform was." Then in the next scene, JB is watching Dami, who is sitting, and JB's two friends are also there who take a photo of Dami and send that photo to the group, and everyone starts making fun of Dami. Then JB's friend says, "I will take revenge for you." And she shakes the cold drink bottle and gives it to Dami and says, "Drink this because you are very tired." And JB remembers this scene that the cold drink will spill on Dami because she had seen it in the novel. Then in the next scene, JB is cleaning her shirt when Dami comes there and gives her hand wash and says, "Clean it with this," and says, "Thank you" to her. "You saved me." JB thinks, "She is really very kind, as I saw in the novel." Then JB asks for Dami's mobile and blocks all those groups in which she was being made fun of and says to Dami, "Don't join any group from now on." So Dami says, "You only created this group." So JB says, "Even if I create it, don't get added now." And just then, JB's two friends are also coming there, seeing whom JB sends Dami from there. Then those two friends say to JB, "We have a next plan to take revenge from Dami." Then when they are about to tell the plan, JB says, "The teacher is looking for you." So they say, "Okay, we will tell you our plan later," and leave. JB thinks, "Why are these people not leaving me alone?" Then in the next scene, JB sees Jae-soo and Dami talking alone. So JB says, "I am getting to watch a live romantic novel." Then Dami is saying to Jae-soo, "Do you have any idea why those people bully me? Because I am very close to you." So Jae-soo says, "I was just helping you, and are we not friends?" Dami says, "It is very difficult for me to remain friends with you," and leaves from there. Jae-soo sees JB that she is listening to our conversations, so JB tries to leave from there hiding but collides with Jae-soo. Jae-soo asks JB, "Why are you following Dami?" So JB says, "I was following her because I want to protect her so that no one can trouble her." Then Jae-soo says, "You are the one who troubles Dami. Stay away from Dami." And then Jae-soo leaves from there. Then JB is standing and thinking, "I hated this character a lot in the novel, but today I am in the same character. I don't know how to get out of here, but I have a new chance. I will live here well." Then she says, "But I don't know where my home is." Then she goes to the staff room to take the attendance book so that she can find her address there, but the student president comes there and JB thinks, in the novel, the student president and JB never met. Then she says to the student president, "I have just come here to take the attendance book." Then she starts looking for the book, but she doesn't find it because the book is with Shin Han. JB takes the book from Shin Han and says, "The homeroom teacher asked me for this book." So Shin Han says, "I have just come after meeting him." Then JB says, "Okay, maybe he had some misunderstanding." Then JB gives the book back to Shin Han and leaves. Then she's sitting outside and thinking, "Where do I go now, what?" And then JB goes to a room. Jae-soo is also there and he quickly turns off the lights and goes to JB. Then Jae-soo takes JB to the side and hides so that the security guard cannot see them there. When the security guard leaves, Jae-soo asks JB, "Tell me, what were you doing here?" JB says, "My situation is such that I cannot explain it to you." Jae-soo says, "You are very strange. You are pretending as if you don't even know me." Then JB thinks, "Am I the #1 fan? That's why I have entered the novel? But what is the benefit of entering the novel when the main lead of the novel, Jae-soo, hates me?" Then she sleeps there. Then she has a dream where everyone is saying to her, "You are a big troublemaker. We don't like you at all." And JB starts crying. Seeing this dream, Jae-soo comes to JB and makes her feel comfortable. And when JB opens her eyes, she sees that Jin Woo is sitting in front of her. So JB asks, "What time is it?" Jin Woo says, "It's 9 o'clock." JB says, "It's time for me to go to school. I'm leaving." In the next scene, we see that JB is eating with her two friends Chasai and Jin Young in the cafe area. Then JB sees that Dami is eating alone. So JB asks her friends, is it because of me that no one eats with Dami? So her friends tell her, it's not like that. Dami has a lot of attitude. She ignores people. Then JB sees that a girl is calling Dami, but Dami does not listen to her and she starts leaving from there after talking to Jae-soo and Jin-woo. And just then JB sees that a bouquet is about to fall on Dami from above. JB calls out to Dami, but Dami doesn't listen. Then JB quickly pulls her and says, why weren't you listening to me? And JB gets hurt. Then Dami says, sorry, I have a hearing problem. Then JB says to Dami, haven't you told anyone? So Dami says, no, I haven't told anyone yet. And then Jae-soo also comes there. Then JB says, Dami called me. So Dami says, yes, I called her because she got hurt because of me. Then Jae-soo talks to JB alone and says, why do you trouble Dami? So JB says, I am not troubling her, I just want to get close to her. So Jae-soo says, after doing so much, you just want to do a small apology and fix everything? Then Jae-soo leaves from there. Then JB comes to the staff room and the president's student Jin-woo is also there. And JB asks him, what are you doing here? So Jin-woo says, I should ask you this. JB says, I have lost my way. So Jin-woo says, okay, it is better to sleep here than to wander outside. So JB asks, won't you ask me why I was sleeping here yesterday? So Jin-woo says, you have run away from home. What more can there be? And JB also thinks, let him think like that. Then Jin-woo says, my work is done. And he gives her the key to that room and says, keep the room locked. Then JB remembers the scene when Jae-soo was saying to her, you cannot fix everything with a small apology. And then JB gets an idea. Then she sits in the computer room and types something and uploads it on social media. In the next scene, JB holds Shin Han and says, I need a favor from you because you can do it well. Then all the students in the class are reading JB's post from yesterday. And it is written on that post that JB had spread those false rumors about Dami. Shin Han is also sitting with them and he also says, I have also heard this. And JB from a distance says to Shin Han, you did well. And thinks to herself, now no one will trouble Dami. And Jae-soo is also watching JB. Then all the children go to Dami and say sorry to her. But Dami says, it's okay. The problem happened because of my hearing. But just then, JB comes there and says, this has all happened because of me. Just then, Dami is about to say something that JB signals. So Dami says, it's okay, no problem. And Jae-soo is also listening to all this. Then JB goes to the staff room. Then Jae-soo also comes there. So JB says, I had just come here to find something, I didn't come to meet you. And leaves from there. Then we see that Jae-soo had brought a bandage for JB. Then in the next scene, JB hears Dami talking to Eun-hyun, in which Dami is saying, will you come with me to have lunch? And seeing this, JB thinks, oh, Dami likes Eun-hyun. And then we see Jae-soo in the staff room. Jae-soo is thinking about the night scene when Jae-soo and JB are alone in the staff room. And JB, hugging Jae-soo and crying, says, I am very scared. Then Jae-soo leaves that bandage on the table and leaves. In the next scene, Dami is shown being proposed to by Eun-hyun at farewell. Dami looks at Jae-soo and says, yes, I also like Eun-hyun. Eun-hyun takes Dami away with him from there. In the next scene, JB wakes up and says, it's been 5 days since I've been living in this novel. She comes to the staff room where bread is kept for her. After eating the bread, she writes a thank you note and puts a bandage on her injury. JB goes and sits next to Dami. Jae-soo comes and gives Dami milk, saying, you haven't had breakfast, have you? So here, drink this. Dami says, I have already had it. Jae-soo leaves the milk there and goes. Dami asks JB, will you drink it? JB says, no, this is for you. Dami says, it's okay, drink it. JB starts drinking the milk and Jae-soo is watching her. JB asks Dami, you like Eun-hyun, right? Dami says, well, how did you find out? JB says, I know everything and I will help you. JB tries to prevent Dami and Jae-soo from talking to each other because Dami likes Eun-hyun, and in this way, this novel will have a happy ending. JB is cleaning the grass and Jin-woo is sitting there. He says, remove the grass from the root. JB says, yes, I am removing it. She says to Jin-woo, how bad is this contract? You also work with me. How much work will I do alone? Jin-woo says, what is bad? You are also given bread in the morning and you also get permission to sleep in the staff room. Then Jae-soo comes and JB leaves from there. Jae-soo asks Jin-woo, why were you and JB sitting together? I am finding it very strange. Jin-woo says, you are also changing a little from before because I am seeing you talking to me so angrily after a very long time. Jae-soo is sitting in the class thinking about all this, and when he looks towards JB, JB is looking towards him. JB is cleaning the floor, then she sees in front that Dami is coming and water falls in front of her. JB remembers the scene from the novel that in this scene Dami will fall and the duster will fall on Jae-soo's clothes, because of which Jae-soo will say to Dami, "You have spoiled my clothes, so in return, you will have to go to eat with me." JB goes to save Dami and gets hurt. Jae-soo says, "Are you crazy? In trying to save others, you start abandoning yourself?" JB says, "It's okay, it's a small injury. It will get well soon." Lee-soo says, "It is not good to help others in this way. It is stupidity." Hearing this, JB thinks, I had seen this line in the novel that Jae-soo had said to Dami, but why is he saying this to me? JB asks Shin Han for some female clothes. Shin Han brings her some clothes and says, "These are my sister's clothes." JB thinks, I didn't see this in the novel that he also has a sister. JB wears those clothes and reaches the park. She's watching Dami and waiting for Jae-soo. Jae-soo is coming to meet Dami. Jae-soo is buying cotton candy to give to Dami. When Jae-soo is going to Dami, JB slaps Jae-soo from behind and runs away from there, and Jae-soo also runs after her. They slip and fall. JB runs away from there and someone makes a video of them. When JB goes to school, all the children are laughing after seeing something on social media. JB sees and she finds out that yesterday's video has been posted. She finds Jae-soo and goes to him with some novels and asks, "What are you doing here?" Jae-soo refuses her to sit next to him. JB says, "Is your name written on the seat? Can't I sit here?" She shows him the novel and says, "Do you also like to read normal? Look, I read this novel. It is very romantic." Jae-soo is not saying anything. JB says, "Are you okay?" Jae-soo says, "I don't like those people at all who ask me, 'Are you okay?' And don't tell anyone that I am sitting here." JB says, "Okay, I won't tell. But why are you upset? In the video, you were just helping that girl." Jae-soo says, "How do you know that she was a girl?" JB says, "I had watched that video very carefully." Jae-soo says thank you to JB for the novel. And JB says, "What did you say? I didn't hear you." JB also says thank you to him for the bandage. Jae-soo goes home and reads the novel given by JB and thinks, why am I reading the novel given by her? He goes to the staff room and sees that JB is not there. There is a note lying there on which it is written, "Thank you, Shin Han, for giving the clothes." Jae-soo understands, oh, that girl who was following me was JB. JB is brushing her teeth in the washroom. Then she gets a notification on her phone. You have to post an advertisement. She asks, on which address did you send all these things last time? JB reaches the same address, and the house was very big and beautiful. She thinks, what will I say if my mother is angry? She rings the doorbell of the house. Then an aunt comes and says, has the hot water finished again? When JB goes to her room, she sees that it was a dirty room. There was only decoration on one side that the girl, villain character earlier in the novel, had done to post on her Insta. JB says, why did the writer have to do this to me? Then she posts an ad for skincare. In the next scene, Jae-soo goes to Shin Han and gives him the same notepad in which JB says thank you to him for the clothes. Shin Han goes behind Jae-soo and says, sorry, brother. Jae-soo goes to Jin Woo and says, did you know that JB was following me? And do you know that she has now gone back home? Jin Woo says, she has given the key to me, so it means that she has left. Jae-soo asks, has she really gone home? It is also possible that she has gone to a stranger place, and looking at her post on Insta, it seems that she is from a rich family. Then why did she leave her house? And why was she living here in the staff room? Shin Han says, it is possible that she was living here for you because she also used to follow you. Doesn't JB like you somewhere? Hearing this, Jae-soo picks up his coat and leaves from there saying, I have to go somewhere. JB sees a box at her house and there are a lot of cute things in that box. She gets a message from Dami, so JB calls Dami to her house. Dami says, Yoon-hyun proposed to me, but what should I say to him? I ran away from there in fear and now I don't know what Yoon-hyun must be thinking about me. JB says, oh, no problem. Tomorrow we will go to school and see what his mood is like. Then we will talk to him. Dami says, have you kept all these things till now? JB says, are all these cute things yours? Did I snatch all these things from you? Dami says, yes. JB says, okay, now I will give all the things back to you, sorry for this. Dami says, I don't need it now, it's okay, you keep it. JB takes out a hair clip from it and posts it for sale and says, with whatever money comes from this pin, we will buy delicious food. Someone gets ready to buy that pin. JB says, pay online. But he says, no, I will give cash myself. I cannot pay online. Then they go to the park and a man is sitting on the bench. They go to that man and ask, did you have to buy this hair clip? The man says, no, I don't have to buy it. Just then a small child comes there and says, I had to buy it, I have to gift this pin to my mommy. JB says, I am in a good mood. I will give you this pin as a gift. The child says, my brother has said that we should not take anything for free from anyone because nothing is available for free. JB says, your brother is very cool. Then Dami and JB talk. Dami says, that's why he was not paying online. JB remembers that the child was saying that he also has to go to sell some things. JB quickly says to Dami, I have to go somewhere now, you go home. The high school students take the goods from that child and say, we will not give you more money than this. They give him half the money and say, now you go from here. Just then JB comes and is making a video of those people and says, we will call the police. The boys say, who are you? Jae-soo was writing something on his diary. Was JB really following me? Does she really like me? Just then he gets a call and he goes to the park and that child hugs Jae-soo while crying. Jae-soo says, I had forbidden you from going anywhere alone. And what has happened? Why are you crying? JB says, Jae-soo, are you this child's brother? JB sees that there are many notifications coming on the child's phone. JB asks, whose notifications are these? The child says, don't look at these. Then JB goes to their house and her eyes fall on a diary and her name is also written in it. But Jae-soo snatches it from her. JB says, I saw my name on that diary, let me read what is written. And JB snatches the diary. Jae-soo says, you were in the park that day, weren't you? JB says, I don't know what you are talking about. Jae-soo says, I know it was you. Just then, Jae-soo's younger brother says, I have to go to the washroom. And taking advantage of this opportunity, JB quickly runs away from there. The next day, Jae-soo gets late for his school while sending his brother to school. Shin Han says to Jae-soo, our school's prince comes late to school every day for a child. On the other hand, JB is sitting hidden in the library and thinking, what will I say to Jae-soo now? How will I apologize to him? And just then, Jin-woo also comes there, and he asks her, what are you doing in the library so early? JB says, I am just hiding from someone. Then JB asks, you are very close to Jae-soo, aren't you? Then JB holds Jin-woo's hand and says, please help me. And she just keeps running behind Jin-woo all day long. Jae-soo is watching all this and feeling jealous. Then Jin-woo asks JB, what help do you want from me? JB says, tell me about Jae-soo's likes and dislikes because I have to apologize to him. Jin-woo says, I will not be able to tell, but there is a person who can tell about him. JB says, who? Jin-woo says, I will drop you home. Then on the way, he tells that Jae-soo has a younger brother and their family cannot take care of that younger child, so Jae-soo takes care of him. Then JB says thank you to Jin-woo. Jin-woo says, now stop talking about Jae-soo. JB says, yes, okay. And just then, JB's foot twists and she's about to fall. Jin-woo catches her and says, it seems like it is going to rain. So JB takes out her umbrella and gives it to him and says, my home is nearby, I will go. Take care of yourself. The next morning, JB is waiting outside Jae-soo's house for him. And when both the brothers come out of the house, JB says, I was just passing by from here and we met on the way. How good is that? So Jae-soo's younger brother says, yes, that's a good thing. Then in the next scene, at school, JB brings a lot of Jae-soo's favorite things and gives them to him and says, I am giving all these things to you because I will go to drop and pick up your younger brother from school for a whole week. So Jae-soo says, why will you do that? Shin Han is there. He says, because she wants to say sorry to you. And then she picks up a packet and says, this is very tasty. It has fish in it. So Jae-soo says, I don't like fish jokes. And Jin-woo says from behind, give it to me, I like it very much. And JB gives him her umbrella. So Jae-soo says, what does this mean? Then Jin-woo tells, I had gone to drop JB home yesterday and it started raining on the way, so she gave me her umbrella. And when Jinwoo starts eating the fish, Jae-soo immediately picks it up and says, "I will eat it." Then JB picks up a biscuit and gives it to Jinwoo that you can eat this. And Jinwoo leaves from there saying goodbye to JB to take care of herself. And Jae-soo gets very jealous. Then Jae-soo says to JB, "Okay, whatever I tell you, you will have to do it for a whole week." JB says, "Okay." Then in the next scene, JB goes to pick up Jae-soo's brother Yoon-oh from school and tells him, "Go and wash your hands." And he goes to wash his hands. Just then, JB sees that there are a lot of notifications coming on that child's phone. And then she thinks that the child had said not to watch the notifications. But she picks up the mobile and starts watching, and there is a horror video in it. And then the child comes and says, "I had told you not to watch." So JB says, "Tell me everything. Who sent this?" Then that child tells, "My friends had sent this to me in class once, and I had watched it. So I peed in my pants in the class itself, on which all the children were laughing at me." So JB says, "Did you tell the teacher?" So he says, "I didn't tell, because those children were saying that if you tell the teacher, then the teacher will consider you very timid." In the next scene, at night, Jae-soo comes to the park looking for those people. Then Yoon-oh scares Jae-soo and JB says, "This will be absolutely fine." Then later, two children come to the park and say, "He will not come today. And this time, if he gets scared and pees, we will not leave him." And those people look here and there is no one. Then Yoon-oh comes there and scares those children, and those children run away from there in fear. So Jae-soo asks Yoon-oh, "Why didn't you tell me this before?" So he says, "I wanted to do this myself." Then JB explains to him, "If someone does something like this to you, then you must tell the teachers or your parents." Then Jae-soo says thank you to JB for taking care of Yoon-oh. So JB says, "Whatever I was before, but now I have become very good. Please forgive me," and starts leaving from there. So Jae-soo asks, "What are you doing this weekend?" JB says, "Nothing special." So Jae-soo says, "I want to meet you this weekend. Will you go on a date with me?" In the morning, both get ready and go on a date. Then they have lunch together, roam around, and then JB and Jae-soo get a picture of a couple made. On the other side, Shin Han and Jinwoo are sitting. Shin Han says to Jinwoo, "Jae-soo and JB have gone on a date." Jinwoo says, "What's a big deal in going out with your friend?" Shin Han shows Jinwoo their couple picture, and Jinwoo becomes serious after seeing it. In the next scene, we see JB, who is saying to Jae-soo, "Our first date was very bad. All these places were very bad. I didn't even eat food properly." Then JB eats noodles, and after a while, Jae-soo gives his shirt to JB, and Jae-soo is just looking at JB. Then both play a game, and JB says, "In this game, we both will ask each other questions and will have to answer them correctly. Otherwise, there will be punishment for the wrong answer." Then JB asks, "Do you like any girl in school?" Jae-soo says in response, "No." So JB says, "Don't lie, otherwise I will punish you." Jae-soo says, "Yes, I like someone." And JB thinks, has Jae-soo still not been able to forget Dami? Then Jae-soo asks the same question to JB. So JB says, "There is no one. I don't like any boy." Jae-soo says, "You can't lie." So JB says, "I am telling the truth." Then Jae-soo says, "I am going to go to the washroom." And when he goes out, he sees Dami and Eunhyun together and becomes happy, and JB is also watching from behind. Then JB says to Jae-soo, "If your first love could not be fulfilled, then don't be sad, because no one's first love is ever fulfilled." Jae-soo says, "What are you talking about all this?" So JB says, "I know that Dami was your first love." So Jae-soo says, "No, what are you saying? Dami was just my childhood friend. I just used to take care of her because everyone used to trouble her a lot." Then in the next scene, Shin Han asks JB, "Do you like Jae-soo?" So JB says, "What are you saying? Jae-soo is like a first love for me which could never be fulfilled." And Jae-soo also hears all these things. In the next scene, Jae-soo is jogging and thinking about JB's words, and then comes home and throws away the couple's chain given by JB. Then in the next scene, JB says to Jae-soo, "It has been a week since I have been taking care of your brother, so can I continue keeping it?" Then JB shows Jae-soo the same couple's chain and asks, "Where is yours?" Jae-soo says, "I don't have it. I have thrown it away." Then the next day, JB is telling Dami, "Jae-soo was treating me well, but suddenly I don't know what has happened to him." And just then, a new student enters the class. His name is Kong Jun. When the four kings are sitting together and eating, Kang Jun also comes and says, "Add me to your group too. Then we will become the 5 grade kings." and hearing his words, one by one, 3 boys leave from there. There is only Jin Woo. Kang Jun says to Jin Woo, "Won't you go?" So Jin Woo says, "I am meeting you for the first time." So Kang Jun says, "Will you follow me on Insta?" And hearing this, he also gets up and leaves from there. And Jabi is thinking, no new student had come in the novel. Then where has this new student come from? Has this happened because of me? And just then, Jin Woo comes to her and says, "What are you thinking?" JB says, "Very strange things have happened to me which are very difficult to explain. But if something is troubling us, then what should we do in such a situation?" So Jin Woo says, "If something is not harming us, then we should stop worrying about it. We should do some other work." Then in the next scene, Kang Jun goes to Jae-soo and says, "Add me to the student council." So Jae-soo says, "I don't do all this work. Jin Woo does it." So Kang Jun says, "Okay, I am going to him and I will say that you have told me to add him to the student council," and leaves from there. Then Jae-soo comes to the staff room. He sees that Jin Woo and Jae-b are sitting together. So Jae-soo asks, "What is she doing?" Jin Woo says, "I am increasing the counselor members." Then Jae-soo asks, "Has anyone filled out the form?" Jin Woo says, "Kang Jun had come here. He had said that you had recommended to add him." Jae-soo says, "Am I crazy?" Jin Woo says, "By the way, his qualifications are fine." Jae-soo says, "He will waste all his time in uploading photos only." JB says, "Add him. Maybe we will need him in the future." And someone is also making a video of those people. In the next scene, we see that JB was feeling that someone was watching her. Then she gets a notification in which someone had commented on her, "You are troubling me a lot." She quickly deletes the comment and blocks it. Then she sees that Jin Woo is under a lot of pressure of work. So JB says to him, "You are looking very tired." Then she takes him to the cafe. Jin Woo says, "I have come here after a long time." JB says, "Oh, you used to eat here alone?" Jin Woo says, "Yes, but from next time onwards you will come and eat here with me." JB says, "Okay." And Jae-soo is watching them. Then he sees that Kong Jun is taking photos of those people. Jae-soo says, "What are you doing?" Kang Jun says, "The place here was looking very good, so I was taking a photo. These people just came into the photo by mistake. I will delete it." Jae-soo says, "Yes, delete it now and take care from next time." Jae-soo leaves from there. Then Kang Jun also says, "You also be careful." Then at nighttime, we see that someone is following JB. Then JB quickly runs and goes into a room, and she sees that the man was waiting for someone else. Then she gets a notification on her mobile. "Blocking me will not do anything. I know everything about your past." And then JB has not been going to school for many days because she has a very high fever, and then all her friends come to her house to meet her and also bring some goods. JB says, "What are you people doing here?" Shin Han says, "We will decorate your house well together. It will be fun." Then everyone starts decorating. JB asks Jae-soo, "You are not even talking to me and you have also come to my house." Jae-soo asks, "You tell me why am I like first love for you?" JB says, "You had heard our conversations." And just then Jin Woo also comes to them and says to JB, "You are not feeling well. Then why have you come down?" Jae-soo leaves seeing all this. Then JB sees her room and it is decorated very well, seeing which she becomes very happy. Then they are eating food. Then Jin Woo is giving water to JB, and Jae-soo is feeling jealous. Then in the next scene, we see that JB is alone at home. Then she gets a notification on her phone. "Blocking me will not do anything." And on the other side, Jae-soo is saying to Jin Woo, "Why do you stay so close to JB?" And on the other side, when JB is standing near the window, she gets a message, and the message contains her picture only where JB is standing, and it is Shin Han who is sending such messages to JB, and he says, "National ID JB." And on the other side, Jae-soo says to Jin Woo, "I like JB." Then Shin Han starts leaving from there. Then JB catches him and says, "You are behind all these things." Then we are shown a flashback scene that, like JB, Shin Han had also suddenly come into the novel, and he likes JB very much. And then on graduation day, seeing Jae-soo and Dami, Shin Han says, "I am happy in such a place where there is a happy ending." Then Shin Han says, after some time, the novel started changing. And seeing JB and Jae-soo's picture, he says, "These people were never in the novel." Then Shin Han, after seeing JB's photo, realizes, this is JB. Then in the present, JB brings Shin Han home and asks, "Why are you doing this?" Shin Han says, "Because you are spoiling the novel. You have changed everything. Now Dami will not stay with Jae-soo." JB says, the changing of the scene has already happened because the novel's extra ending has come. Then at school, JB is messaging Shin Han messages upon messages. Tell me, who are you? What do you know about me? Which world have you come from? And Shin Han is ignoring her. Then JB says to Shin Han, you had said that I am changing the story, so it means you know the whole story. Shin Han says, everyone is listening. JB says, why are you getting upset? When I had come here, I was very scared. Now that I have met you, I am very happy. Shin Han leaves from there and Jae-soo comes to him. Then JB says, not now, we will talk after a while. And she runs behind Shin Han and Jae-soo has brought medicine for JB. In the next scene, Jae-soo and Jin-woo come face to face with each other. Jae-soo thinks about the same night scene, where he had said to Jin-woo, I like JB. Jin-woo also says, I also have the same feelings in my heart for JB as you have in your heart. Therefore, they both pass by each other without saying hello. On the other side, we see that JB comes to Shin Han and says, why is the ending so important? I have already told you that the extra story has come, and in that it had happened that Dami had gone with Yoon-hyun. The original happy ending had not happened. Shin Han asks, are you doing all this to keep Jae-soo happy? Then tell me, if Jae-soo likes you, then will you stay here forever to keep him happy? JB says, it is not like that I will choose this thing. Shin Han says, it is the same thing. You yourself can decide everything because I had decided that I will stay here only. Do you know why it is important to have a happy ending? Because if the story is not as the writer has written, then do you know what it means? We will be trapped here forever and no one in the world will know what this novel was like. Then Shin Han leaves from there. In the next scene, JB is sitting in a school class. Then the ma'am says, exams are starting from next week. JB thinks, let's go, I got some peace. This world will end, then I won't have to study. Next, when Jin-woo is in the library, JB also goes there to study. Then JB asks Jin-woo, tell me some things in which you get happiness. Jin-woo also asks the same question. So JB says, it's a secret. Until you tell, I won't tell either. Jae-soo messages Jin-woo, can we talk for a while? When he goes near the library, he sees that Jin-woo and JB are coming out from there together. JB is saying to Jin-woo, thank you for tutoring me. Then she says bye to Jin-woo and leaves from there, and Jin-woo looks to the other side. Then Jae-soo was standing there. Jae-soo says, I don't want to quarrel with you, but I like JB very much. I will not give her up. I will always keep liking her. You can also do whatever your heart wants. Jin-woo says, do you want to start a fight? Jae-soo says, if we both get rejected, then we will date each other only. Jin-woo says, this will be the most horrible thing, and I will not be rejected because I am cooler than you. In the next scene, the new student Kong Jun is making a video. Seeing him, JB asks Shin Han, was this already in the novel? Shin Han says, no. JB says, isn't he like us here? Then JB is lying on the bench thinking, if the ending has changed, then what will happen next? Will everything disappear at the graduation ceremony? Just then, Jae-soo comes there and says, will you keep speaking like this only? When JB is going home, she says to Jae-soo, how long will you keep following me on this way? This is not your home either. Jae-soo says, I am not following you. JB says, then you go. Jae-soo says, why are you not talking to me? But JB, ignoring him, says, the way is very dark. You come behind me, and leaves from there. Someone is also making a video of them. In the next scene, Jae-soo takes out that keychain from the dustbin, cleans it, and keeps it. Just then, Dami calls him that the students are talking something. This girl has crossed the line. JB comes to the class and asks, what is all this going on? JB's both friends also come and ask, are you okay? JB watches the video in which she is sitting with Jin-woo in the staff room and the cafe one too. It is written in the description below, she is dating 2 boys. JB thinks, it means I am in a love triangle between Jae-soo and Jin-woo. JB is saying to everyone in the class, this is not true. Just then, Jae-soo also comes there and he asks, JB, do you like me? JB says, it's not like that. Jae-soo says, do you like Jin-woo? JB says, I don't like anyone. Jae-soo says, have you people heard everything? This girl doesn't like any of us, but I like her. And if you people want to talk about this topic, then come and talk to me face to face. In the next scene, JB is sitting in the library, and Jin-woo is also sitting with her. Some students are going by watching those two and talking. JB says, I think I should study alone now. People are misunderstanding you too because of me. Jin-woo says, what does it matter to those who are saying? And there is no need to take tension about people. Just then, Jae-soo comes there. Jin-woo asks, "What are you doing here?" Jae-soo says, "Is your name written here?" JB and Jin-woo are studying and Jae-soo is watching those two. Then JB says, "I will go to the washroom and come back after a while." Jin-woo says to Jae-soo, "Why are you doing such childish things?" Jae-soo says, "If you stay next to JB, then I will stay in front of her and this will be absolutely fair play." In the next scene, JB is using the phone in her house. Just then, some sound is coming from behind her house. JB sees from the window, then someone is making a video of her house. The next day, JB asks Shin Han, "Was it you who had come outside my house?" Shin Han says to JB, "Come outside." JB says, "You have got stuck in this because of me, and the novel has been spoiled because of me." Shin Han says, "I had an elder sister. When my parents died, she took care of me. She was a little sick, but after a few days she also died. I felt that I have now been left alone. And when I came into the novel, I found 3 sisters here. I didn't want to go back because I would feel very lonely after going back, and I was feeling that all my happiness would go away because of you. That's why I was angry with you." JB says, "I was also there like you. Everyone just used to consider me bad." Then Shin Han says, "Sorry." Then JB says, "Yes, I remembered. Weren't you the one who had come to my house yesterday?" So Shin Han says, "I was not." Then we see that Shin Han is telling Jae-soo and Jin-woo that a stranger had come to JB's house yesterday and he was crossing his limits. So Jae-soo says, "He has uploaded videos. I don't think he will stop now. That's why today, I will drop JB home." So Jin-woo says, "No, I will drop her home." So JB says, "Shin Han will drop me home." So those two say angrily, "No, you stay away from him." Then they do stone, paper, scissors. Then Jae-soo wins, and it is decided that Jae-soo will drop JB home, and Shin Han and Jin-woo will keep an eye on them from behind. Then while going home, Shin Han sees that Kong Jun is making a video of JB from behind, and those people run behind him to catch Kong Jun. Then they catch him and bring him to the staff room. Then they ask him, "Tell me, why were you doing this? Why were you making such videos?" So Kong Jun says, "You don't know that because of this video my followers and likes had increased." So JB says, "You were doing all this for likes?" Kang Jun says, "My followers are increasing. I feel very good after seeing it." Then Kang Jun takes out his phone and starts showing more videos and says, "I have a lot of videos which I have not uploaded yet." Jae-soo takes his mobile and sees it, in which there are a lot of JB's pictures. So Jae-soo says, "You have made pictures illegally." The next morning, Kang Jun is given punishment that he has been removed from school because he had made the video illegally. Then JB says to Jin-woo, "You have helped me, so I will give you a treat." And Jae-soo also says, "I have also helped. I also want a treat." Next is the day of the exam, and Dami and JB are sitting in the cafe and are getting happy that the exams are over. Dami says, "The last day of exams is the best day in school." JB thinks that this thing was said to Jae-soo by Dami in the novel. In the next scene, we see Dami and Jae-soo exchanging something with each other in which Jae-soo gives Dami Eun-hyun's childhood picture, and Dami gives the friendship questions which she had filled out with JB. Dami says to Jae-soo, "How did you take this picture?" Jae-soo says, "To give your pictures to Eun-hyun." Then Dami says, "How is it going with JB?" Jae-soo says, "We are friends only till now, and she also knows that you were my first love in childhood." Then Dami is watching Eun-hyun's pictures and sees in front that some 2 girls are standing near Eun-hyun. They ask him to come with them, and Dami leaves after seeing this. So Eun-hyun says to the girls, "My girlfriend's name is Dami." In the next scene, Jae-soo is reading the question paper in which all of JB's favorite things are written. Then he sees that JB likes to drink apple juice very much in the morning time. So he gives JB apple juice the next day, and Shin Han says, "Didn't you bring it for me?" And Jae-soo also gives it to Shin Han. So Shin Han says, "This is the first time he has given me anything." Then in the next scene, all the seats are exchanged. Jae-soo was sitting next to JB and Shin Han was sitting in front of JB. Then Shin Han says, "Did you see? The effect of being the main character. With the lead, I always remain the main lead." Then JB forgets her book. Then the ma'am says, "Go and stand at the back." Jae-soo has the book, but he says, "I also don't have the book." And he also stands with JB. In the next scene, we see JB's two friends who are putting her book in the dustbin and are saying, "Because of JB now, no child is afraid of us. Suddenly, I don't know why she has become so kind, and that is why now we are very angry at her." Then JB goes and takes out her book from the dustbin, and Shin Han comes to her and says, "By being the female main lead character, it happens that someone or the other will surely keep troubling her, and it has also officially started with you." In the next scene, we see Jin Woo, who is sitting and thinking. His ma'am was saying, "Your mother has said that you will fill the doctor's form." And he also thinks about JB's words when JB had said, "If you enjoy doing something, then you should do it." He liked photography, so he picks up his camera and goes to JB. Jin Woo says to JB, "I have thought about what I enjoy doing, taking pictures." Then Jin Woo says to JB, "Why don't we click photos together?" And they are about to take a picture that Jae-soo also comes there, and then Jae-soo uploads his picture on JB's account and says, "Now this account is mine." Seeing this, JB says, "How can he do this?" Then JB says to Jin Woo, "I have got an urgent work. I am leaving, but this weekend we will go on a photo trip." And she leaves from there while calling Jae-soo. In the next scene, in the staff room, Jin Woo says to Shin Han, "I will not come to school this weekend." So Shin Han says, "Will you go to the library?" So Jin Woo says, "No, I will go out with JB because she wants to meet me," and leaves from there. Jae-soo thinks, Jin Woo will go to meet a girl for the first time. What will they do? I am not understanding anything. Then in the next scene, JB and Jin Woo go to get their photos clicked, and on the other side, Jae-soo is calling JB so many times, but JB is ignoring his calls. So Jae-soo says to Shin Han, "Why is she not picking up my call? Has her phone broken?" So Shin Han says, "If it was me, I would have called Jin Woo right now and reached there." Then they are eating noodles. Jin Woo says, "I will take you to a good place." So JB says, "No, this is the best place because earlier I had gone with Jae-soo, but no place was good." Jin Woo says, "You people must have enjoyed." JB says, "Yes." Jin Woo says, "Then take me with you next time." JB says, "Okay, I will take you." Then Jin Woo gives flowers to JB. JB says, "There was no need for flowers." Jin Woo says, "I was feeling guilty that I didn't take you to a good place to eat." Then JB removes the flower from Jin Woo's hair. Just then, Jae-soo comes there and says, "What are you people doing here? Did you people enjoy on your date?" Then Jae-soo gives a cake to JB and leaves from there. In the next scene, we see that Jae-soo feeds JB the cake and suddenly JB's eyes open. In the next scene, Dami sees Eunhyun's messages and checks her weight and says, "My weight has increased a lot." On the other side, Jin Woo goes to JB's house, then he sees that Jae-soo is also standing in front. Jae-soo asks, "What did you do with JB yesterday?" Jin Woo says, "That which you cannot do." When JB opens her door, she sees that both Jin Woo and Jae-soo are standing in front. Jae-soo says, "I was passing by from here, so I stopped for you." Jin Woo says, "I was waiting for you." In the next scene, Jae-soo throws a chit at JB and asks, "Will you have lunch with me?" In the next scene, Dami is vomiting in the washroom, and JB's friend is standing outside listening. Dami says, "I had eaten too much, that's why I was vomiting." JB hearing says, "Are you okay?" And Dami also has some rashes on her hand. JB sits and thinks that something is going on with Dami. Just then, Jae-soo also comes there and asks, "Why are you avoiding me?" JB asks Jae-soo, "You are Dami's childhood friend, so you should know what is happening with Dami, right?" Jae-soo asks, "What are you talking about?" JB says, "I don't know why Dami is not talking to me well." Jae-soo says, "Hey, she's not a child. She is grown up. She can take care of herself. And you take care of everyone, but don't take care of me." JB starts leaving from there and says, "I don't have any feelings for you in my heart." And JB is laughing. Then in the next scene, we see that Dami is reading some tips for weight loss, in which weight loss pills are mentioned. Dami takes the pills, and that man says to Dami, "This matter has to be kept a secret." Dami eats those pills. The next day, Dami faints in the playground. When JB goes to the class and sees Dami's bag, she finds those same pills. The doctor tells, "These are dieting pills which are very dangerous and have a lot of side effects." In the next scene, JB asks the ma'am, "Why hasn't Dami come to school?" The ma'am says, "Dami is sick, that's why she hasn't come to school." Just then, Jin Woo also comes there, whom the ma'am is saying, "You haven't filled the form? You will go to medical school only." Jin Woo says, "I had forgotten to fill it. I will give it to you later." While leaving, he throws a paper in the dustbin, and JB sees that paper, in which photography department is written in the career department. Then JB goes to Jin Woo and says, "You do whatever your heart tells you to do." Jin-woo becomes happy and says, "If you stay with me, then I can do everything which I'm not able to do. That's why you always stay with me." JB is smiling. Then Dami comes to JB and asks, "Have you seen my pills? Those are my vitamin pills." JB says, "Don't lie to me. I know everything." In the staff room, Jin-woo sees that JB's mobile is lying there. Over there, JB is saying to Dami, "That pill has a lot of side effects. It is not good for your body." Dami says, "Why are you suddenly worried about me? It was you who used to call me ugly earlier." JB becomes very sad and Jin-woo comes to JB and says, "Are you okay? What has happened?" Jin-woo sees that Jae-soo is also standing and watching, so Jin-woo quickly hugs JB, and Jae-soo passes by from there. In the next scene, Dami is sitting in the cafe and is watching something about dieting, and Yoon-hyun sees from behind and asks Dami, "What were you watching?" Dami says, "I was not watching anything, and I will come from the washroom in 2 minutes." Then in the next scene, Jae-soo comes from the washroom after washing his hands, and in the class, we see that JB is sleeping. So Jae-soo says, "Can't you like me?" JB opens her eyes and says, "Jae-soo, my hand is hurting." Then Jae-soo helps her. Then Jae-soo says, "Can't we remain friends?" Just then, Yoon-hyun comes there and says to JB, "Can we talk?" JB tells him, "Dami, since she has been dating you, I don't know what has happened to her. You talk to her. I am afraid that she might faint again." Then in the next scene, Jae-soo and JB are going home alone. Then Jae-soo says, "Don't take tension." JB also says, "Why are you dropping me home today and why do you like me?" Jae-soo says, "I also don't know, but when you admit your mistake, then I like you very much. And sometimes you say very strange things, which I don't understand at all, but however you are cute." Then when JB comes home, she's thinking about Shin Han when Shin Han tells her, "Do you really like Jae-soo?" And then JB runs down to Jae-soo and says to him, "I didn't like it when you said, 'Let's remain friends.'" Jae-soo asks, "What are you trying to say?" So JB says, "Now I have come to know why I like you. Earlier I was confused, but now I am sure that I like you." And Jae-soo gets shocked. In the next scene, we see that JB says, "Now I have thought that I will stay here in the novel only." Then at school, Shin Han sees that JB and Jae-soo are standing together. Shin Han asks those people, "Are you people standing together in so much heat?" Jae-soo starts telling that he is in a relationship. Then JB quickly closes his mouth and stops him. Jae-soo asks JB in the class, "Why have you kept our relationship a secret?" JB says, "Give me a little time right now." Then JB tells Shin Han, "I have decided that I will stay here only, and we are not confirmed that the novel will disappear after graduation." In the next scene, Jin-woo says to JB, "My parents have not forbidden photography, but it seems that they will agree later." JB says, "I had told you that this will definitely work. Therefore now I want a proper treat from you." Jin-woo says, "What do you want?" JB, "Something about which I am very curious." Then, in the next scene, Jae-soo brings a flower to the class. Shin Han says, "Why have you brought it?" Jae-soo says, "I have named it JB. This is my JB flower. I will take great care of it." In the next scene, JB asks Jae-soo, "Why do you like me? Because of my cute face or because of my lovely face?" So Jae-soo says, "Because of your ugly face." Then while coming from school, Jae-soo holds Dami's hand and says, "If you leave me, then I will shout and say to everyone here that JB is only mine." JB says, "Why would I do that?" Then in the next scene, JB tells Jae-soo that she has changed her Insta and whatever she feels like she will upload it in the new ID and takes a picture of Jae-soo and uploads it. Jae-soo says, "Tag me in it too." And then he says, "Sit here. I will bring something for you." Then after a while, JB hears some sound. Someone is calling her, and she was seeing everything blurry, and when JB opens her eyes, she sees herself in the same old show, and the host was calling her, and JB had reached the real world from the novel. In the next scene, Shin Han is saying to Jae-soo, "Has JB changed her number? Her call is not connecting." So Jae-soo says, "Who is JB?" and leaves, while talking and laughing with Jin-woo. And Shin Han says, "This cannot happen." And he goes to JB's house. It was written on the wall, "JB's house." Then he looks in the house, there is no one, and he looks in the class. Then he remembers JB, and Jae-soo says to him, "What are you looking at, man? Why are you reacting so strangely today?" Shin Han says, "Don't you remember her at all?" Then after seeing Dami and Yoon-hyun, he says, "Do you remember how these people came into a relationship?" Jae-soo says, "Because Yoon-hyun liked Dami." Shin Han asks, And when did he propose? Saying this, Shin Han leaves. When Jae-soo comes home, he sees the keychain given by JB and he hears JB's voice. How cute is this keychain? Jae-soo sees the date scene. He thinks, what had happened? Then in the class, Jae-soo asks Dami, did you give this keychain? You keep it. Just then, Shin Han comes and says, what are you doing? You don't even deserve this. How important it is for you, and you are giving it to someone else. Shin Han takes the keychain and leaves from there. In the staff room, Jin-woo is watching the pictures, but there was no one in all the pictures. Jae-soo comes and asks, what happened? Jin-woo tells, someone has clicked the pictures. Jae-soo says, I also have such pictures and I don't know when and why I had clicked these. JB had disappeared from all those pictures. While coming from school, Jae-soo sees that he is seeing JB in front, and just then, JB disappears. He gets scared. Then he sees his diary in which it is written, she had followed me in the park. Does she like me? JB? When he opens his eyes in the class, he says, what kind of dream was this? In school too, he sees JB who is giving the novel. Then he goes to Shin Han, shows him the novel and asks, was this the JB you were talking about? Who is this girl? Shin Han says, you yourself remember? Jae-soo is passing by near JB's house, so after seeing JB's house, written there, he goes inside. Suddenly, he collides with JB, and he remembers the same scene when JB had told him, I like you. At that moment, Jae-soo remembers everything. Then he says to Jin-woo, JB has disappeared. She is not being found. Jin-woo asks, what are you talking about? Shin Han says, come with me outside. It seems that you have remembered everything. Jae-soo asks, tell me, where is JB? Shin Han says, I will tell you everything, but will you believe me? Jae-soo says, yes, tell me everything in detail. Then Jae-soo, standing alone, says, has she gone to another world? The next day, Jae-soo had not come to school. Jin-woo was looking for him and goes to his house. Jae-soo says to Jin-woo, help me in finding JB. I was very wrong. I have done very wrong with you, but help me. Jin-woo says, let her go. Then in the flashback, we see when Shin Han was telling everything about JB. Then Jin-woo also hears everything, and he also remembers everything. Therefore, about JB, Jin-woo says, JB doesn't belong to this world. Let her go. Then we see that JB is sitting in the same show and everyone is asking her questions. When she stands up to speak, suddenly all the lights go off. When the lights come on, JB has disappeared from there. Everyone is saying, JB has run away from here out of fear. In the next scene, we see that Jae-soo was very sad and asks Shin Han, is there any chance that JB can come back here? Shin Han says, I don't know. On the other side, JB suddenly comes back to school and runs to the staff room where Jin-woo is. JB asks, where is Jae-soo? Then she goes to the park where Jae-soo was sitting, but JB starts leaving from there, thinking that she has not yet decided whether to stay in this world or that world. As soon as she is about to leave, Jae-soo comes from behind and hugs her. In a past scene, we see that Jae-soo was telling Shin Han, don't tell JB that I have found out everything. Then at school, Jae-soo gives medicine to JB and asks, were you sick that you didn't come to school for 2 weeks? It had been full 2 weeks since JB had disappeared from the novel, and Dami also comes and asks JB how she is. In the next scene, Jin-woo and JB are sitting together. Jin-woo asks JB, are you dating Jae-soo? I wish I had proposed to you earlier. JB says, what? Jin-woo says, don't you know that I like you? JB says, really? Jin-woo then says, no, I was joking. But inside, he is feeling very sad that JB is dating Jae-soo. In the next scene, JB and Shin Han are sitting together. JB says, I didn't know that I would suddenly disappear. I wanted to run away from there, so again, I came here in this novel. Then we see that Jae-soo is sketching JB. JB asks, is it necessary to do this sketching? Jae-soo says, pictures can disappear, but handmade drawings cannot disappear. He writes in the sketch, I will never forget you, JB. In the next scene, Jae-soo and JB are talking to each other. Just then, all their friends also come there. Jae-soo says, how did you people know that we are here? Jin-woo says, you shouldn't put the location on Insta. Then everyone is playing a game, but Jae-soo is sitting on the side. When he sees that Jin-woo and JB are sitting together, then Jae-soo sits in between them. In the next scene, Shin Han and Jae-soo are decorating the Christmas tree, and JB comes with the decoration stuff. She's listening to their conversations, in which Shin Han is saying to Jae-soo, you really don't want to tell that you know everything. Jae-soo says, yes, I don't want to tell, because I am afraid that JB might suddenly go to her world again. Then at home, JB writing a letter for Jae-soo, thinking about the same thing, in which she says, I was going through a very bad time, but you supported me a lot. I have been able to live this way because of you, the way I wanted to live. She takes the letter and goes to the staff room, and after calling Jae-soo, she says, I am missing you. Come quickly. Then she's watching some photos in the staff room and says, when the time comes, then I will decide to stay here only. Then the letter falls from her hand. Jae-soo comes, picks up the letter and sees, but nothing is written in it. Shin Han comes from behind. Jae-soo asks Shin Han, who has kept this Christmas tree? Shin Han says, don't make fun of me. Jae-soo says, I am not making any fun. From here, only we come to know that JB has gone again. Jae-soo sees JB's drawing, in which it is written, JB, I will never forget you. He remembers everything again. On the other side, when JB goes back to her world, there was no one in that show. There was only a man there. JB asks him, what happened to my comeback show which was here? That man tells, that was a week ago. JB starts leaving from there and thinks, if I leave from here, then I will not be able to go into the novel again. That scene starts roaming in her mind when she had asked Jae-soo, why do you like me? And Jae-soo had said, you are very cute. Thinking about everything, JB leaves from there. Then she meets her real world's friend who had uploaded her picture earlier. JB asks him, why did you do all this? Jin Young says, why did you upload pictures with those girls? I didn't like it because you are only my friend, but I didn't know that all this would escalate so much. Then JB comes home and goes live and says, you people stop talking about me and my friends. I haven't bullied anyone and all of you have said very bad things about me because of which I have been hurt a lot. I was also very angry, so please don't hurt me. Then everyone starts saying sorry to JB. JB is reading those comments, in which everyone is saying, JB is very brave and good. Then looking at the novel, she says, I am really sorry, Jae-soo. In the novel, it was graduation time, and Jae-soo was repeatedly looking outside. Then they click the graduation picture. Jae-soo goes to the class and puts the graduation flower book, the same keychain and a letter on JB's seat and leaves from there. It is written in that letter, if you don't come back, then I will find you in your world. Then, in the real world, we see that JB is in the company. Suddenly, Shin Han comes there. Shin Han says, it seems that you are a superstar because I had a lot of difficulty in coming here. JB says, Hana, how did you come here? Shin Han says, after the graduation ceremony, I opened my eyes, so I have come here. JB says, it means I could not change the novel. Shin Han says, I don't know, but when I had come here, I was not feeling good at all. But after some time, I am feeling very good. JB says, where are all the other people? Shin Han says, I don't know. Then we see that Jae-soo's eyes open and he thinks, I saw that dream. Then he sees the phone and says, these dreams have been coming to me since I started talking to JB. It means Jae-soo is also in the real world. Then we see a past scene. JB is eating noodles and is messaging in the group. No one replies. JB says, someone talk to me. Why is no one talking to me? Jae-soo was sitting on the table behind her only. He comes to the group and starts talking to her, and all this was happening in real, before JB went into the novel. Then we see Jae-soo. He was getting the dream of the novel's world. All the scenes. He wakes up and says, what is happening? I am not even a fan of JB. Then at night, he is talking to JB on the laptop. And you remember that in the first episode when JB was reading the novel, someone had messaged her? That was Jae-soo, who had said, whenever you are sad, you read the novel. And the day when JB had gone to the novel from the interview, Jae-soo had really come there. In the next scene, Jae-soo realizes that whatever dreams he had seen, everything was real. He is thinking, will JB really meet me? Because in the dream, we were very happy, and I am missing you very much, JB. In the novel too, Jae-soo is remembering JB and saying, will I still be able to remember you, JB? He was crying helplessly. Then in the next scene, in real life, it is JB's birthday. Everyone has wished her. When she opens the hashtag, there was the same picture from the novel. JB opens that ID and sees that in every pic's caption it is written, wherever you are, be happy. I am missing you very much. Then she runs to the same place and says, why are you not here? She starts crying and just then Jae-soo comes there. Jae-soo says, are you okay? I am your fan. Can I have your autograph? JB asks, what is your name? Jae-soo says, I have missed you. JB says, Are you really Jae-soo? Jae-soo says happy birthday to JB and is thinking along with it. Am I really seeing a dream? He says, I hope that what I am seeing, it becomes my future, not my dream. Then in the next scene, Jae-soo is reading the same novel which JB had suggested to him. Some people sitting on the side are saying, JB's performance was very good. Just then, JB also comes there. Jae-soo says, you are coming now? JB says, what do I do? I am a superstar, and you have got a great girlfriend. Then she asks, and had you watched my performance? Jae-soo says, I don't know, but I have surely watched my beautiful girlfriend. JB smilingly says, this is how you will keep falling in my love. Jae-soo says, I also have no intention of coming out. And with this happy ending, the drama ends.